All right. Hey guys. I just that's on the entirely wrong part of my desk. There we go. Well, now the microphone's where it's supposed to be. Anyway, I watched the entire Netflix documentary on on MH370 today. Uh and I got to say, I remember the story. I was in high school. I was in 10th grade, I think. And what you got to remember about MH370, for those of you who might have been too young for this to kind of be like something that you heard about or really thought about, it was a pretty major mystery. Nobody was really sure what had happened with it. Uh, the kind of general belief was that the plane crashed, but nobody really knew how or why this had happened. The only data available really didn't explain anything. If anything, it just created more questions. And then, of course, at the same time that we were asking all these questions about MH370, we were also forced to be asking questions about MH17, which was shot down. I believe it was shot down by the Russians over Ukraine, over the Ukrainian-Russian border during the taking of Crimea in 2014. The other things that were happening in 2014, yep, that's right, ISIS was a thing all of a sudden. So, as you can see, 2014 was kind of a nuts year when it came to this kind of thing. There was just so much going on that, you know, any any given thing seemed possible at the time. There were some people who, in the wake of the MH370 disappearance, they were talking about, oh my God, this was probably the Russians, and then other people were claiming that it was the Americans shooting down a plane that had, some American secret tech that was ending up going to China through Malaysia on it. There were a whole bunch of different outcomes and possibilities that people were floating around out there, and to this day, we still really don't have a ton of information on it. It's all very strange. Uh, and now you've got this new stuff coming out that Ashton Forbes is putting out, and Ashton's going to be on the show not this upcoming Sunday, but the following Sunday. And I will say right now, I have told him that he is very likely to be challenged. We will be asking questions. We will not be taking everything he says at face value. And if possible, we will be getting another person on for another appearance afterwards to basically counter him and say, all right, well, here's why I think that the video isn't real. But really, the big thing here is that there is video now that has come out from two separate sources, and it's been out since 2014. I read through this again, and I now that I have a little bit more in my mind about it, I can kind of read this with a bit more discernment. I can kind of understand what's going on in this tweet better. So there's two main videos. There's a satellite video. I'll pull them both up on their own so we can watch them individually, and then I'll show them to you together. But essentially, the deal with MH370, the reason it was such a mystery was that it stopped responding to signals sent from the mainland. Apparently, I just realized this, I just learned this today. There's two different kinds of radar that are used in air traffic control, or in air traffic in general. One is the military kind that does not require a signal to be sent back from the plane. The other is the civilian kind, and you can get primary radars, how they refer to it. You can get, and Kellen, if I'm wrong about this, please correct me live. But they call the one primary radar. That's the one where the plane doesn't have to send a response signal. The other one is called secondary radar, and in that one, the plane does send a response signal. In this case, MH370 stopped sending response signals as it passed between Malaysian and Vietnamese airspace headed northeast for Beijing. The reason that's weird is that the Malaysian government, a few days later, came out and said, oh, well, actually, we also had a ping on our military radar that said that there was an aircraft to the west of the Malay Peninsula, over Malaysian airspace still. That would have required if the plane is going this way, that would have required an aggressive, like this kind of hardly a 90-degree angle turn in a very short period of time, which planes like that aren't really supposed to do short turns. It would have been a hard turn based on what they were suggesting. And then, even more strange, a British satellite company that the name is escaping me for the moment, starts with an I, but a British satellite company that has military contracting, that has civilian contracting, they had data that said, hey, this aircraft pinged our satellite every hour during the flight, and the last ping showed that it was on this one arc of the circle, because they couldn't tell exactly where the plane was. They could only tell how far the plane was from the satellite. So they were able to triangulate that and figure out where the last ping was. And then an hour later, when it should have pinged again, there was no ping. So that's kind of the issue here. It can ping in both directions, apparently. Again, I don't totally understand the technology all that well, but I'm hoping that as I do more research for this video, we're going to be putting the video together on Sunday. So I'm hoping that as I do the research for it, I'll start to understand these concepts a little bit more. And of course, I will be reaching out to anybody that I have who is military contracting, stuff like that, who can help me understand. Because I don't want this to be another video where I'm like, hey, I don't really know what's going on here, but this is weird. But yeah, so I just wanted to kind of give you that idea. The plane stopped responding sometime between, I think, 8:15 a.m. Malaysian time and 9:15 a.m. Malaysian time, if I remember correctly. And nobody knows what happened. Some people feel that some people who were searching satellite imagery claim that they saw a debris field in the South China Sea that would have matched a Boeing 777. Other people claim they found debris from this exact 777 on beaches in Madagascar, Reunion, and Mozambique. So really strange. And then, of course, there's these videos that Ashton has put out. So let's go through those really quick. And this is, as you can tell, this is an archived web page. Anybody who's been around a while recognizes this version of YouTube. It's old. So this is the satellite video. We'll see how long it takes to load. There we go. I'll get the other one loading up now. But so as far as I understand, Regicide Anon is a UFO uploader account. And this was uploaded June 12th, 2014. This one was uploaded May 9th, 2014, so about 2 months after the plane went missing. So here's the video. Obviously, there's no real sound to it. So far as I understand, this was captured by an American satellite. What you can see right here is allegedly a unidentified aerial vehicle, a UAP, a UAV, a UAF, whatever you want to call it. Also, I just want to say thank you to Devin and Ryan for the super chats. Thank you so much. That means a lot. I'm so psyched this channel is monetized now because I have a lot of student loans to pay off. And Ryan said, can you do a video on the mystery of why all women leave me? Oh no, Ryan. But yeah, so that's that right there. That is an unidentified object. That's a UFO. Basically, this is a plane, this is a UFO. That is the way the videos are presented, to be clear. I don't want to say that any of this is correct, because I don't know yet. I'm still working on it. Yeah, so maybe they're just phrasing it weirdly in the Netflix series, calling it radar instead of, like, radio transponder. I don't totally understand it. It sounded odd to me. But yeah, so as you can see, there's now a second one right here and right here. And then a third one pops in. So now we have 3 unidentified little round things rotating around this aircraft. And it's if this is the South China Sea, if this is even the Indian Ocean, then it makes sense that there would be US spy satellites in the area. So, as you can see, it's flying. It goes through some clouds, comes around the other side of the clouds. Those guys are still, you can see that they're rotating in a very uniform pattern. It's very static rate. And then, all of a sudden, poof. Gone. Really weird stuff. Really weird stuff. This right here is an M God, what do you say it was? A MQ-1C Gray Eagle with the thermal layer added by the leaker. So what he's saying here is that the original video did not have this thermal on it. It did not have this blue, yellow, green thermal style. That was apparently added on by the leaker. Again, allegedly. And here's that video. There's the plane. Which looks very close to that Gray Eagle. You can see the first one come in. Now we've got 2, we've got 3. You can see that they're rotating around the plane's fuselage in a spiral formation. And then as it comes through, it loses it for a second. Zooms in, catches it again. And just like the last one, poof. Gone. So it's really strange. And then here is both of them together. So again, there's of course the question of, is this even real footage of MH370, or is it another plane entirely, or are both of these videos doctored? If they are doctored, it's pretty impressive because they do seem to match perfectly. Obviously, looking at it, this one appears to be in 24 frames per second. This appears to be in 6. This one is from a drone. This one's from a spy satellite, so that kind of makes sense. And then, poof, they're just gone. See, the thing is, missiles don't do that. Missiles do not do that. So, the real question here is not, it's not what is that right now. The real question for me is, are these videos real? Because if these videos are real, I have so many questions. I have just so many questions. A lot of people looked at this and they went, oh, it's aliens. Ashton's not saying that, and that's part of the reason I'm intrigued. Is because this would be very easy to just say, oh, well, it's alien aircraft, you know? All right, cool. Ashton is claiming instead that he's doing this for the victims, the witnesses, the leaker, the videos, and the world that has been lied to. However, the most important part of these videos is that they prove conclusively that the US government is hiding superconductivity, teleportation, and free energy from the world. So, I will say right now, the free energy thing rings some alarm bells for me. It sounds a little too much like Tartaria. It could be entirely unconnected, but it does ring some alarm bells. So I am, maybe I will ask some questions to kind of get where he is on that as well. But from what I can tell, having talked to him briefly a little bit, he seems to be sincere, which is always something that I want. He's saying that it was probably Edward C. Lynn who leaked them. He claims this because the government attempted to put him in prison for life, called him a traitor. They're saying he's a hero. He took a plea deal after he was convinced he damaged national security, but he never revealed this information to our enemies. He simply wanted to do the right thing and tell the world this technology and what happened to MH370. He was sentenced to 9 years in prison and is likely bound by his plea deal to never speak about the videos again. We can vindicate this man as well as everyone else who was lied or discredited. So, I do think he's coming from the right place. Also, I see Pennsylvania and Fetterman are both trending, and now I have to ask why. Oh. He appears to be trending, Because he's... Oh, wow. Interesting. It's because of that. Wow. Interesting. Interesting. Why is Pennsylvania trending? Election officials in Pennsylvania have discovered an issue with voting machines. Voters in Northampton County are getting their votes switched by the machines. Of course. Of course. Oh, man. Of course. I wonder if my vote even went through. I wonder. Anyway. I hate this country. I hate the world right now. Because, of course, I'm sitting here in Pennsylvania like, why would our elections go over without a hitch ever? Anyway, not to get political on the show, because that's not what this is about. You guys know my feelings. This is weird. So, I responded to it, I retweeted it, I said, I know like 4 things total about the situation, but I am intrigued. Should I not be intrigued? Ashton responded with this, which, of course, one of the things that people were saying is, oh, well, that's actually, they debunked it by saying it's a VFX asset from like a 90s video game or something. And so I'm going to show you guys the video, but here's him overlaying the VFX asset over the video he posted. So as you can see, they don't really seem to line up. One of them is way bigger around the edges, you know? So I'm kind of with him on that. It doesn't look like a VFX asset to me. Let me see. I think somebody responded with this. Here we go. This is the one. So this is the Some Ordinary Gamers video, which purports to discredit the video. And to be clear, I'm not sure why it's taking so long to load. Oh my God. Come on. Come on. Come on. You can do it. There we go.
Anyways, ladies and gentlemen, how's it?
All right.
Anyways, ladies and gentlemen, how's it going? This is me.
Okay, none of that. 1 second. So I like Mutahar. I've been watching him since before I was a YouTuber. I mean, he's big. I would listen to his videos while I was at work doing all the boring stuff that I used to do for my old job. So I like Mutahar. I find him to be generally a stand-up guy. I agree with a lot of the way he handles himself, the way he handles YouTube drama and things like that. So I haven't watched this video yet, and I'm curious to see how it turns out, seeing what I saw today.
How's it going? This is me, Mutahar, and I'm gonna put on the clown makeup today because we're about to debunk some Lamau footage. The most convincing Lamau footage we saw literally last week, a couple days ago. Yeah, last week at this point. Remember the MH370 connection, possibly? That little disappearing plane? Well, it turns out it may not have been disappearing because it seems like the visual effect artists have jumped in and disproven it. Now,
so we're going to see if the digital effects artists actually disproved it, I guess. So this is kind of weird. I guess this is me reacting to a guy reacting to stuff, but I'm curious. I'm curious where he's going.
Before we jump into that, I want to just quickly address something that I saw floating around on the internet. The weird, mysterious, rotating UFO in Argentina. Ooh. Now, of course, I'm a huge lover of UFO videos. Unfortunately, this is not a video. This is a series of photographs. Now, this was actually recorded in Escorial, Chubut, Argentina. Sorry, El Escorial, Chubut, Argentina. And for anybody that's...
Kellen, don't worry. I know you specifically know a lot on this topic due to you being, in the role you're in. So take your time, type out what you need. Your name is green, so I can easily find you. That's the nice thing about this is on Twitch, you guys didn't have like specific colors to tell me that one of you was a channel member or something. So I can see what channel members are saying a lot easier now.
Yelling and
also, if you want to be a channel member and help support the channel and me and all of that, I made a $1 tier. It gets you access to what will be a monthly members only live stream. And, it's basically, it's $1. So hopefully Those of you who have a spare dollar are willing to help out, and that'll get you access to that. And you will, the people who have the $5 membership will get to vote on the subject of that members only stream, whether it's a video game, or a specific set of analog horror videos, or you just want me to talk about a concept in general. I will do that. So
my pronunciation of it, well, get ready to yell at me again, because a local journalist, Calaverita Mateos, actually ended up sharing those images on...
Uncle Cha. So that's the thing. Originally, they did suggest that the pilot crashed it on purpose. Problem was, the authorities in the last 5 years have really backed off of that. And there appears to be good reason, because there's no motivation. There's no motive for him to have done that. There's also really no evidence that he did that. And if you look at the debris, from what I understand, again, I just started looking into this, but the Netflix documentary, which again, Netflix does not really vet their documentarians that well, but the Netflix documentary, which I think was pretty well done. Watching it showed people disagreeing with each other on what may have happened. It had one expert saying this and another expert saying that. I felt it was a pretty solidly honest documentary, and I'm interested to look into some of it for myself. From what I understand, only one serial number matched between the debris they found and the plane. One other issue is that the piece of debris they found on Réunion was missing its identification plate. And to my understanding, and again, if there's any aircraft workers in here, also thank you guys who just became channel members, I appreciate it. If I understand correctly, the only time you would take the ID plate off of an aircraft is during the dismantling process, or if it's a brand new part that has not yet received its ID plates, which would suggest, assuming that the ID plates are actually on there well enough to not just fall off, which, granted that it was a largely intact piece of the airplane, I would guess the ID plate wouldn't just fall off like that. But again, I'm not an expert on this. I'm just kind of observing, and that's why I'm live right now, kind of like asking these questions in case anybody knows. But they only had one matching serial number, and the portion of the wing that they found did not have an ID plate on it. Additionally, the FBI claimed that they found flight simulator data from the pilot's home flight simulator that included this route. The FBI is not a reliable source. They're just not, especially when the US government might be involved in what happened. The flight path that the FBI found on the flight simulator generally matched, did not exactly match. Also, it's hard for me to get all my thoughts together right now on it, because again, I just started the research process, but there was something in there about the way that the FBI did it that basically, like, the FBI said that and then showed the data to Australia and Malaysia, and Australia and Malaysia were kind of like, I mean, okay, if that's the data, like, it's entirely possible the FBI just straight up lied about it. And I would not be shocked. I constantly find the FBI lying. The US government is not reliable. It's not trustworthy. So I don't take their words at face value. When I look at the circumstances, there is no motive for that pilot to fly that plane into the South Indian Ocean. There just isn't. He didn't leave behind any sort of manifesto. He was not known to be any sort of political extremist. He was, he voted for the opposition party in Malaysia, but that's about it. As far as anybody knew, I mean, the guy made YouTube videos where he basically showed people how to do handyman stuff around your house. There's no reason to think that he would have done that. There's also the fact that the only reason to believe that the plane was airborne at any point after it left Malaysian airspace was a British satellite company said so. British satellite companies are pretty beholden to the British government and, by extension, NATO, and by extension, the United States. So, if what happened in the South China Sea, if the plane did disappear over the South China Sea, whatever happened to it, if that is actually like where they lost contact with it is where it went down, if any NATO country had something to do with that, the FBI, any British intelligence agency, anybody would lie about it, especially since that plane had so many Chinese citizens on it. It did also have some French, some Russians. I don't think there were any Americans, but one of the people who has been most on the case about this is a French guy who had family on the plane. So yeah, let me see. Just to kind of to look through some of these things. Kellen says, okay, the fact that the thermal layer was added to the one video screams fake, as a camera used for color doesn't record the IR spectrum for use as a thermal camera or any. So yes, I'm guessing that Ashton didn't properly explain what he meant by that. Or that I might be misunderstanding. Let me yeah. One is of an MQ-1C Gray Eagle with a thermal layer added by the leaker. So it could just be that this is worded weirdly. I will ask him to clarify what he means on the show. It could be that what that means is that the video was just kind of hard to see, so he basically put a fake thermal over it. Again, hard to say, but let's get back to the video and see what Mudahar says.
On the internet, and some of these images look like this. Now, you might be like, whoa, who unlocked the Star Fox? What was that one game on the Jaguar? The Cyber Pilot or whatever? It's like, who taught you how to fly? Why does this look like a PlayStation 1, Atari Jaguar,
He's right.
Super Nintendo 3D effects graphic? Well, ladies and gentlemen, because if you actually look into how this is positioned, well, it looks pretty...
Yeah, I don't think it's a real thermal. I think I think the thermal was an added layer. What I think he means by that is that originally the video was not thermal, it was just normal. Maybe it was FLIR, and he recolored it. I don't know. Again, it's hard to say. I don't know why that would have happened. It might be that it was FLIR, or it was something else. It might have been a classified version, and he recolored it. I'm wondering if that's what it is, if he like recolored it because he didn't want to expose anything about our technology. It's hard to say.
Similar to the Calvine photo, which was actually released 30 years later after it was apparently taken. World's clearest UFO photo, it seems. And this one comes from two hikers in the Scottish Highlands. God, I spit on myself, Jesus. And before they sent it out to the tabloids, they gave it to the Ministry of Defense. And I guess they hung on to it for a little while before declassifying it, okay? That's pretty much what it reminded me of. Now, this one was also shared by Neil Goodman.
Every time I see one of these, it does make me laugh because, like, come on, guys. All right, you're saying 2 layer added. It's just a fancy visual filter. If it's not fake, release both. Yeah. So like I said, I'm wondering if it was a military leaker. I'm wondering if the reason that there was a thermal layer added was to hide something that he wasn't trying to leak. Because it seems like what he was trying to leak was that, not whatever technology was used to record it. But again, I don't know, Kellen. I think you make a very good point.
It's a UFO researcher, and this is apparently another shot.
And Kellen, I really hope you will be there on Sunday the 19th in the chat to ask, to point out, pertinent stuff like that.
This is it rotating apparently vertically. This is like it's spinning vertically. Again, what I find really weird about these photographs is if you've got a photo, why is there no video? You see, this is the thing that I hate about alien photos. This is why I always believe. This is why I always have the skeptic side of me jump up. Because you guys are not recording clear video when literally every smartphone, even if it's the cheapest one imaginable, has the ability to record 4K 120 frames per second video. Shit, some of them can slow-mo record at 240 frames a second. You can see exactly how it spins. Where's the propulsion systems? Where's the smoke? Who knows? Maybe they've got some LK-99 that they managed to cobble together that allows them to levitate off the ground. Who knows, ladies and gentlemen? But what I do know is one of the...
It is so weird to me that putting him on 1.25 times speed makes him feel like he's talking normally.
the initial sites that talked about it, the initial journalistic websites from Argentina, gives me an error 404, pagina no encontrada. So I can't enter it. There's no cached version available. I wanted to address this because it is genuinely just wild footage. And you can see that it actually shows up unblurred from this situation too. You can see that even on MSN.com, they were sharing, whoa, look at that, these photos are coming around. The photos were sent to me by a local resident who asked not to be identified, meaning they used something like Midjourney, GPT-7, some AI tool to create this and call it a day. Anyways, I wanted to put that out of the way because that was probably one of the most laughable pieces of evidence that we could laugh at, okay?
Yep.
Yes, that is very fucking fake. That is faker than an average titty in West Hollywood, okay, ladies and gentlemen? Simple as that. Let's go to the real meat and potatoes. Now, last week we looked at this video over here, and this one in specific, the FLIR video of the disappearing airplane. Now, this is a 3-minute and 21-second long video, and obviously I didn't show you the entire video when it started, but to give you a quick grasp of this situation, it showed a jetliner that people believe to be MH370 disappearing like that. Now, of course, before it disappeared, it had a bunch of these balls around it, these circular balls. You
Do hate it when I'm flying my MH370 and there's just balls.
can see that they even have trails too. So it's wild to actually witness how this situation is going out. It's crazy. And there were people who actually did the research on even those trail balls as well. You can see right here from...
Yeah, leaking the video is probably not going to do great stuff for you in terms of you not being in prison. Leaking the actual technology, like the full scope of what is being recorded, that could end up getting you in prison for a very long time.
User Space Jungle Boogie, the orbs and airliner videos. Analysis of multi-axial rotation, speed, size. It's huge, okay? So they calculated the interception speed. They basically, pointed out the exact time codes those orbs took position, 2 axis rotations of the jet, and I guess the corresponding balls. They even went out to use rotoscope analysis to actually see how these balls were moving. And based on the size of those balls, ladies and gentlemen, they then decided to actually gauge how large these balls were. Okay. That is a human being, that is a space testicle, that's Little Mayo, and that's an aerial jet that was apparently abducted. Allegedly abducted. Oh, but don't worry, ladies and gentlemen, it gets even wilder. We're talking about physics analysis. We're talking about the most analysis imaginable. There is a lot of look into the situation to try to disprove this video. And at this moment in time, it's not just physicists, it's not just people from the military or pilots or, people that have technical expertise.
From what I understand, the physics is sound. It's just whether or not the video is real.
At this moment in time, visual effects artists started to get into this situation. So this is allegedly a VFX effect that was used when the plane was portaling away. So to show you exactly what I'm talking about over here,
to me.
Towards the tail end of the video, we get a little bit of a zoom in to these balls, but also we get a zoom in to when the plane portaled away. So right here, you can see this is when allegedly the plane was teleported. Now, initially I thought maybe it exploded, maybe something happened, but no, this was literally a teleportation. So we saw one frame, this is the second frame, third frame, and then fourth frame, and then fifth frame, and then the portal is invisible. So 5 frames of an interdimensional portal, allegedly. So now this is where VFX artists started to cross-reference visual effects of explosions from across the internet. Okay.
It is really incredible what the internet will get up to under these circumstances. And I kind of like it. I like that the immediate reaction was to try and disprove it, because if they can't, that's pretty cool.
Okay. Now, to understand, this is a degree of insanity that one should never, ever jump into. But this shows you the level of energy some people have to either prove UFO existence or disprove. I can make a ton of videos just talking about the disapproval science, the disapprovals, the science it takes to go against, UFO footage. There's a lot of intelligent people on both sides. And this is a situation where it seems like as time passes, those who are often critical and skeptical usually get the story right. Now, 2 days ago, Icy Slide 7698. Dude, I love these names. The plane's video has
Okay. The plane video has VFX elements used for the portal and is likely a hoax. The effect uses from an old VFX CD-ROM from the 90s. It can be found at archive.org, site below, in Pyromania Volume 1 zip, and is titled Shock WV. The stills below are the best I could find, and the match is undeniable. Feel free to download and verify yourself.
Visual effects elements used for the can be found on CD-ROM. I had no actual idea that this was just an entire CD set for people who wanted explosion effects. So again, it's just pages of explosion sprite sheets, some of them being in popular games like Command & Conquer, of course, some of them being, actually they have a list of games Big Explosion just used. They've just got different explosions going around. They've even referenced, it's been in James Bond movies, South Park movies. This is actually just a royalty-free collection, so if you wanted to use this alongside Lucasfilms, Sony Interactive, Fox TV, you can, ladies and gentlemen. So again, they looked at this specific frame, which is why I paused the video right here. So you've got the hole, the rectum of the portal. All right, this is where you go in apparently, and then you've got this like little weird nipple on the very edge of it. But if you look at the actual like edge, you can see this is a triangle. This is two small triangles, and that's two shapes I want you to remember. Okay, keep that in the back of your head. So inside Pyromania Pro 1997, there was apparently an explosion called Shock VW, which I didn't know that this was a royalty-free effect used in Star Wars, RoboCop, Beetlejuice, and Addams Family. This is entirely new information to me. Now, this effect I wanted you to remember in your head, okay? Now, this is a game known as Killing Time 3DO. Now, for record's sake, this is a video uploaded by Jimmy Q Balls, okay? February 20, 2016, okay? So again, 7 years ago. Now, obviously, some could say, oh, this is a little bit after, the Malaysian, the alleged plane disappearance footage. Now, I want to remind you, these are two entirely separate channels covering two entirely separate pieces of media, okay? Now, for anybody that doesn't know what Killing Time is, I think Killing Time is an old school boomer shooter that's like a puzzle-oriented title. On Steam, you can buy it for like $11.
All right.
And of course, you can see that it's got, classic, brilliant 1990s CDS graphics.
It really does.
You got some Egyptian inspiration, and you've got clowns, okay? So maybe I might actually buy it because of how outlandish it is. Now, at exactly 58 minutes into these full 1 hour long...
We're supposed to have happened because an MQ-1C has a max speed of less than 200 miles per hour, so it had to have already been in position and would need a base window. So here's where I'm unclear on what Ashton is suggesting. Archie! What I'm unclear... Archie! What I'm unclear about is when Ashton is claiming it actually disappeared. He's saying March 14th, 2014 at 1840 UTC at the Nicobar Islands. So if we go to maps, let me switch over to this guy really quick. If we go to the Nicobar. All right. So he is suggesting that the plane disappeared here. The general position that is recorded is here. So basically, to show you the general trajectory of the plane, it's alleged that the plane got to about right here, went over Penang, out past Nicobar, and then basically took a weird like beeline down past Australia. That has that might be a little too far, but yeah, so about right there. Then as for the first piece of debris that was found, it was found right here at Reunion. Some more was found on the eastern edge of Madagascar, and some more on the eastern side of Mozambique. So basically the plane traveled this way, down here, ran out of fuel and crashed here, and then went up left that way. One interesting thing here is that Diego Garcia is actually right here, which means that had the plane not gone that way, but instead kind of continued, it does end up at Diego Garcia. The debris, of course, is kind of iffy because the serial numbers don't necessarily match. Again, I'm going to look into all of this. I don't know how much of what I'm saying is completely accurate to events. But yeah, if you look at it, it's a weird flight path. It makes very little sense if he was intending to do this, that he would go boom, boom, there, and then just south out into the water. Or he may have gone straight due south. I don't know what the plan was, but he would have had to have known that the plane was going to run out of fuel here. You know? So I'm not sure precisely when, he's saying that it was at 1840 UTC at the Nicobar Islands. So I don't know what 1840 UTC is. 1840 UTC in Malay time. That would be 2:40 a.m. in Malaysia. So basically he's claiming that so a lot of people have suggested that no, it went down right here And somebody claims to have found satellite images that show plane debris right here. According to the military, it last was seen right about here, near the Nicobar Islands. And then that's the last time it actually shows up on anybody's radar. The next time it shows up is a satellite system with a ground base in Perth, tracked it, pinged it several times, and it ended up around here with the last ping. According to, it's like Inmarsat or something. Inmarsat? Like a... Inmarsat? Is that... Inmarsat. There we go. So it's these guys. And I mean, you know, if you look at them, they're a satellite company. That's what they do. So he's suggesting that it went missing at 2:40 a.m. The general story is that it crashed around 8:30 in the morning here. Hard to say, but here we go.
Playthrough, I guess it must have been a pretty short game. So towards the end of the section, when this explosion happens, you already have seen the graphic, okay? So again, if one just goes frame by frame into the CGI animation, one will see exactly at this frame, this is the image we're talking about, ladies and gentlemen. So you see that little nip here? In fact, let me put it side by side for you all. Now, side by side,
it does
you all
look
can
pretty
see that
close,
we've got this triangle, we've got the two smaller triangles right over here, and we've got the nipple, we've got the explosion effect going on, and there might be parts of this effect that have been slightly edited, but this looks incredibly close for comfort.
It does
now,
look
obviously,
very
there has
similar.
been editing in regards to color transitions, making this look as part of flare footage. But this is where it seems that this explosion effect has come from. You can even see that beyond this triangle up towards the top, you can see these two little, I guess you could say, hedges, this moon, and it's kind of reflected into, again, resolutions, some blurring, a lot of modifications have been added. But this is ultimately where it seems like the research ends. Yes, leave it to a bunch of VFX artists, leave it to a bunch of really, really terminally online individuals like me to end up finding the patterns, you know, because some people are just really good at seeing patterns. That's all I'm really going to say. Ladies and gentlemen, that's pretty much where the debunking of this video has come into. Now, again, there has still been debate in this situation as well, too. One day ago, Free Thinking Girl said the VFX effect used to debunk was likely edited. The actual unedited VFX frame is this one.
Oh?
So there is still a bit of delay on this situation, still a bit of debate on whether this visual effect was downloaded and put into flare footage to help fake a plane teleportation. And this is where I'm going to end the video on, okay? I think at this moment in time, things have been severely debunked. What we have witnessed is probably one of the most convincing and hotly debated pieces of UFO media floating around. Tons of people talked about it. There have been not one, but at least 3 articles deciding to spread, you know, fact-checking on this situation too. None of those sites had fact-checked this hard. So again, like a lot of these situations, what I'm really trying to get at is keep an open mind, but also be open to facts.
Yeah, it's hard to say. I'm looking at it. It definitely looks really close. And so what I would wonder is, are both of these videos fake? Because everything I've seen has focused on this one. Nothing I've seen is focused on this one. Let me show you. So if we look at it, this one is June 12th. This one is May 19th. The satellite video is the first one to be uploaded. So I wonder, you know, I have to wonder. But, you know, just to go through it again really quick, to take a look as we go. I want to see it on the one on the right side, because it's, let's see. Yeah, because that's the thing. That does not look like this visual effect. You know? So even if this one's fake, what about this one? That's the confusing thing for me. Just like... So, and the thing is, we only get the one frame, I think. Yeah, it's only one frame on this side of the screen. So it's really hard to tell. The satellite video is, for me, the more likely of the two. see. Here we go. So here's Ashton showing the two. Is my headset on? It is. Yeah. Yeah. So here's Ashton showed a frame by frame of the two going next to each other. All right. I mean, so here's the thing. This really does look like that. I mean, obviously these are at different frame points. But let's see if we can snag the right spot on this one and compare. Sheesh. It's really so hard to time that thing right. Okay, so let's see how. So that one right there starts to look like that. It gets a little. We get a little thing right here. Do we get that on this one? Not really. It's so weird because they're so close to one another. Yeah, it's just it's all so odd. I'm curious. Here we go. Here's him overlaying the two. So as you can see, when you overlay the two, the similarities are a lot harder to see. But it does look like these two things. So here's what's weird. These guys are in the right place, but nothing else is. You know? And it could just be that the one was made to be black, so it doesn't look quite the same. But you know, I'm less concerned about the one on the left than I am about the one on the right. Because the one on the right would be a lot harder. Would be a lot more interesting, just to me. But yeah, so I'm curious where we're gonna end up with this. And yes, the satellite video. Here's the thing. I don't necessarily know that Ashton would be correct about the timing that this occurred. And also, hard to tell with that guy. He said, what did he say? He said it was created using something. This allows for the proven 3D stereoscopic imagery we see in the satellite video. So, and the other is a 3D battle space produced by the SBIRS space-based infrared system via signals intelligence using data from spy satellite USA 229. So, I don't know what all of those words mean, but from what I understand, it's infrared. So that's why so I guess it would be artificially recolored. By the military. Yeah, so here we go. I can pull up the other guys. Here we go. Here is the satellite video. All right, so he's saying his goal is to demonstrate that these two videos are different and create a stereoscopic image when viewed together. Go through the setup and view this effect to understand what I am doing. Okay. Slide A is now the only video displayed. Create the effect, raise and lower the opacity of slide A from 100% to 0% in quick succession, revealing side B. I mean, they look near identical. I'm confused as to what's being said here, though. I chose to align the plane. This is alignment. This alignment has a shift of 6 pixels to the right or left, depending on which side is being shifted. Okay. All right. So it's saying it's in grayscale, which is why it would appear to be daytime. I'm not sure what the stereoscopic 3D imagery would have to do with any of it. Like, I'm not sure why that would matter. Oh, sorry. Kellen, let me take a look. You're saying it's 100% fake. 7 p.m. UTC would be 3 a.m. Why is the video showing daylight? So that's the thing, is the video showing daylight or is the video infrared? Because they're claiming it's infrared and recolored. Now, again, hard to say. That does look like blue to me, but I'm colorblind, so... it could be recolored digitally. I don't know. But yeah, so the reason it's so important that the satellite video is 3D stereoscopic is that it's our smoking gun. There are only a small number of satellite pairs like this, and USA 229 is one of them in the right location at the right time to take the video. Okay, so basically he appears to be claiming that this is because it was a pair of satellites. Gotcha. What else do we have here from him? All right, what's this one say? He says, this post is dedicated to radiant physics and those who think it's impossible for USA 2229 to be taking our video. As it turns out, we proved the capabilities of the SBIRS system is in fact producing the video. NROL-22 is the command satellite that may have first initiated this system in 2006. The system allows for real-time mapping of the entire world via a network of satellites that can produce the video we see. All right, so what's he showing here? Now watch this video and see how visually this process works while these satellites map the planet with IR cameras and relay this information to produce the 3D battlefield map.
Continues to be a critical national security space mission. The Cold War focus on strategic ICBM systems has expanded to include short and mid-range ballistic missile threats. The Defense Support Program maintains the legacy Cold War monitoring to warn of ICBM missile launches against the U.S. The replacement program is the Space-Based Infrared System, or SBIRS, which is already provided to infrared...
Why is this taking so long to download?
...sensor payloads in highly elliptical orbits, or HEO. The SBIRS program is also deploying multiple spacecraft into geosynchronous Earth orbit, or GEO. Each has 2 independent infrared sensors. One is a scanner dedicated to missile warning with full Earth monitoring. The other one is a scanner dedicated to missile warning with full Earth monitoring. The other sensor is a taskable starer that can focus on selected regions. Each pair of sensors...
Why? Oh my God, Comcast. What? Okay, so it's Twitter that's the problem. Okay, cool. Here we go.
Act simultaneously and independently of each other, providing a robust, taskable infrared platform. SBIRS is the nation's next generation of space-based infrared surveillance. The program has already proven its value with successful HEO payloads on orbit. With deployment of the GEO spacecraft, SBIRS will be an unprecedented resource as the nation's global, taskable, and persistent infrared monitoring sentinel.
So that would explain why the video was even being taken. Let's see. There's parallax. What else is there? What's he got? Okay, here we go. Our previous smoking gun was the fact that the WSPR route following the Inmarsat pings into the South Indian Ocean matched with the potential southern location in the M370 video. Problem with this interpretation is that there's no minus sign in the front of the north-south coordinates. Logistically, that inversion or mirroring cannot change the way that coordinates increase or decrease away from the equator hemisphere. This means that the current location is the northern location near Nicobar Islands. I'm really not sure what he's talking about at this point. I'm so in over my head now. But let's see. The Inmarsat pings released to the families, then the investigative group show anomalies starting at 1840 UTC, not previously reported. The data after this time is sparse compared to the rest of the day and duration of the flight, despite the computers and in-flight entertainment Wi-Fi being off from 1721 to 1825. So what happened around 1840? Not only do the assets, the USA 229 and MQ-1C Gray Eagle, the time, the location. We also have a witness, Catherine Kate T., who saw the plane sometime around 1850 UTC and has never changed her story and still believes in finding the truth, according to her Twitter in 2022. Okay, in addition to all of this, there's also Chinese media only report of an intercepted message from MH370 claiming to be going for an emergency landing due to the plane disintegrating rapidly, reportedly timed at 2:43, which could be interpreted as 1843 UTC. Keep in mind the following considerations. Satellite orbits are from 2-week amateur trajectories and may have some margin of error. The spy satellites can be operationalized. They may be able to temporarily adjust their orbits. Coordinates in the video are not likely to be the exact location of the plane. The satellite view is larger than the window being recorded. For my next original piece, Intent, we'll go over the clues within the videos themselves. For example, we know the MQ-1C Gray Eagle is cropped out, just out of frame. The thermal from this asset was released just weeks after the satellite video back in 2014. Okay. So what's it showing? All right, so this is the two USA satellites being mapped as being over the location at the right time. I mean, I will say it's one hell of a lot of coincidences. I'm not sure I agree that it's what he claims it was yet, but it's a lot of weird coincidences. Let's see. Like, whoever, if this is a hoax that somebody put together, they must have really done their homework before putting it together. So what's this saying? All right, so I guess that's the path of the satellite, maybe? This is the path of the plane. So the plane goes boom, 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 down over here, up here, around there, and then south. So weird. So weird. All right, and what was here? Appears that Catherine T. witnessed some of the final minutes of MH370 and possibly the events of the videos themselves. She wrote about it in a blog when it happened 9 years ago. The web archive is there. That's important. Okay. After a few hours on watch, I noticed a bright orange glow above the horizon, about 8 o'clock relative to the boat's heading. My first thought was to wonder if it was Mars rising, but Mars wasn't supposed to be there, and besides, it was in the north. And then I wondered if it was a meteor as it quickly got bigger and brighter. I thought it was heading towards us, i.e. moving from north to south. I considered the possibility of it wiping us out. Then I thought it would be more likely to land near and cause a tidal wave and wipe us out, which I thought was typical since we just got the boat dried out. Then I decided I'd rather it hit us since that would be an easier escape from the marriage than a painful divorce. That was when I realized my thinking was insane. From that point on, my thoughts were all about rationalizing what I was seeing. And then I saw what looked like black smoke behind the orange glow, which resembled a contrail but black. The sky was very dark, so I suspect it may have been illuminated by the glow. It was difficult to see, and I wasn't sure about it at this stage, although I did become sure later. Missile crossed my mind for a second, but at that stage, the orange glow started to look like a plane. I momentarily panicked, thinking it was a plane on fire, but I couldn't see any fire or flames or anything like it. It was just a plane glowing orange and surrounded by an orange glow like a halo, as though it were being lit up by sodium lights, but I couldn't see sodium lights. As it came closer, I could clearly see the hole was glowing orange. I considered the lights might be orange landing lights, but I couldn't see any lights under the hole, and there were no wheels down. I could see the hull of the plane very clearly from this point onwards. The halo was fuzzy enough. I tried to pinpoint the source of the light, but by this time, I doubted it was a fire because I could not see any source of the lights. The black trail was still present throughout. It simply looked like a black contrail. All right. A few times I checked behind it, waiting for the fighter planes and fire planes, not so irrational, which I assume would be chasing it if it was indeed a passenger plane on fire. There was none, so I relaxed. There were two planes higher than it, and they appeared to be regular airliners cruising at high altitude. One was at a lower altitude than the other. They were traveling from south to north, the opposite way from the glowing plane, and appeared to have regular nav lights. I wondered where they were going, considered Bengal or Russia. I assumed that if the plane was in distress, the pilots would report it. It never occurred to me that it was not visible to the higher aircraft, and they would not be able to see it on either their instruments or visually. The glowing plane did not have nav lights, which made me wonder if it was a military plane conducting some experiment. It was low, and I even wondered if it was high enough to do a hop and pop, and I had the impression it was coming into land, but couldn't logically understand where, as there was nothing in the direction it was headed except the white glow, which we had assumed was a maintenance vessel, which by now I suspect was a research vessel connected with this experiment, although the glow was no longer in sight, and I didn't know to change in altitude. I felt it was traveling slowly. All right. As it moved behind us, I could see the shape very clearly, and that it was it was that of a passenger plane. However, my impression of the hull was that it was monocolor. I assumed light matte gray, although it appeared orange and had an orange halo around it. I do not recall any markings of any kind. It's a long, long one. All right. Yeah, so as you can see, a lot of weirdness. And then there's the fact that this Blaine Gibson guy was the one finding everything. I don't think that he was a Chinese or a Russian or an American spy. But it was all very, odd that he was the one finding all of these things and nobody else could. I found that very strange. But yeah, I mean, looking at it, the whole thing is all very, very, very odd to me. I don't really know what to think yet, but I'm hoping that having Ashton on will help elucidate some of this. Oof. He says, we know the plane didn't crash into the ocean because the SUS system didn't hear the acoustic sound, the same system that heard the Titan sub pop, and the Navy lied about it for 5 days while oxygen counters were on every major news channel. The Diego Garcia hydrophones and Western Australia hydrophones also didn't hear it. So, well, I would have to argue with him on that one, because I remember it was a bit of a big deal when the Navy did admit that, hey, actually we did hear a pop. Because they didn't really want to tell everybody that we had that technology, that we could hear that far away, so hard to tell. Let's see, Swearbear said, I do satellite decryption downlink for fun. Inmarsat satellites don't have cameras, and only military has anything close to video and at a 15-second frame rate. Yes, the Inmarsat satellites are, those are what they're using to basically say that the plane was in the air at least until 8:19 a.m. and to give the general location. The videos claiming to be satellite footage are from U.S. military spy satellites. So, slightly different. SOSUS? Okay. But yeah, this whole thing is all weird. And I will say this, whatever did happen to that plane, I don't think it just crashed into the ocean. There's a lot of weird stuff going on around it. I don't necessarily know that I agree that it was sucked into a portal created by several of whatever those are. What I do know is that Freescale Semiconductors had 20 people on that plane. That is an American semiconductor company, but the scientists were Chinese. Who's to say what the hell was going there? He's saying is this a Twitter space? Mexican congressional hearing. Well, I mean, I'm not obviously. Wait, can we hear?
789,366 read sequences were obtained, which is read sequence consisting of 115 nucleotides.
Can't tell what the hell they're talking about.
Were automatically input into the SRA tool, which produced
how do I pause this and get this to shut up? Because I don't want it to
I'm gonna
stop.
take off for a bit. Thank you, everyone.
As you can see,
Yeah, don't need that. NASA's plan, what is this? You were cordially invited to attend online or in person the Ignatius Forum on Our Future in Space at the National Cathedral in Washington. Yeah. And then this is her blog post about it. Okay. Alternative theory. Comprehensive eyewitness sightings. Yeah, it's all very odd. That's basically where I kind of have to leave it for this, is like, you know, what does it all mean? What are we looking at here? You know, even if the videos are a lie, I'm having a really difficult time comprehending what happened. Because even if it didn't get sucked into a portal right there, as they seem to be claiming, it doesn't make sense that it, out of nowhere, seems to have lost all communication. And then after losing all communication, it goes on to reappear on British satellite pings, and then flies directly due south for 7 hours for no reason. It's just all very, very weird, and I don't really know what to think of it. But you know, I'm excited for Sunday. Not this coming Sunday, but next Sunday. I'm very excited to have Ashton on to talk to him about it. Yeah, so Insomnia Chad, that's the issue, is that yes, parts of a Boeing 77, parts likely belonging to a Boeing 777 were found off the coast of Africa, or on the coast of Africa, I should say. As far as to my understanding, only one of those parts had a serial number that matched MH370. Which, if you have a whole bunch of parts and only one of them matches that plane, that means it was planted. That's, I just straight up, if it was MH370, all of the parts, or at least nearly all of the parts, would match. You know, maybe you had something that was not an original part of the plane that was put on later for some reason or another. But, you know, you would expect the vast majority of serial numbers to match what they were supposed to be, and they don't. So that's a bit of an issue. Now, again, I could be, if I turn out to be wrong about that, I will absolutely update in the upcoming video. But, yeah. So that's that. But with that out of the way, I mean, what do you guys want to do? Do you want to take a look at some nukes? Do you want to do, is anybody have an analog horror idea that they want us to take a look at? Or I can switch over. I can do some gaming, whether it's Demonologist or Chivalry or Call of Duty. But yeah, let me know what you guys want for the second hour of the stream, I guess. I am going to check on my dog and run to the bathroom. I'll be right back, guys. Well, hello. I'm back. I just want to go through. Did anybody have ideas? Whiter Stag Education. What is that? What is White Stag? White Stag Education? What is it? Analog horror? It is analog horror. There are not that many of them, so let's go through them, I guess. Oh boy, I hate when it's in the fourth. So annoying! Because now I gotta reframe my entire fucking setup so that we can watch the goddamn video. No, fuck it. I'm gonna do it this way. We're just gonna do it like this. Just how it's gonna be. Wait, do I have all of my stuff set up right? Am I missing some things? Why did the React one not have... Oh, it did. Okay. Yeah, well. Anyway. Just to address something in there. For the people saying that it's possible it went north. It would have passed through so many countries' airspace if it went north that it would have been seen. Like, somebody would have found that plane if it went north. I also, if you're referencing, what's his name? Like, Jim something, Jeff Wise, or I think Jeff Wise is his name. The guy who kind of put forward the theory that it was hijacked by Russians. A lot of parts of his theory didn't actually add up because you can't pilot the plane from the engineering compartment. It would have had to have been hijacked. It doesn't really make sense. Also, why go north? What would the point of that be? I really do. My biggest issue with everything is the period after around 2:40 a.m. because I don't feel like after that it was likely still in the air. And it seems like Western governments were trying very early on to get ahead of it and tell people like what to think and what to believe and all of that, which makes me wonder if it was actually, a legit kind of thing. Here we go, though. White Stag Education. Oh, the Pine Barrens. I've been there. I've camped there. It's actually pretty nice. Ocean County Parks and Rec. This is nice. Very calm, relaxed. I can't imagine that there's going to be anything super spooky. Also, I did not finish Greylock. I forget why, though. I don't know why I didn't finish Greylock. New Jersey is a godless land. Hell yeah, brother. If that ain't the truth. Stick to the trails. Good. I mean, so far this doesn't really feel like analog horror. It just kind of feels like a boring 90s trail safety video. Like, not... Is it supposed to be spooky? And is this like... Is this one that made Wendigoon, like, jump and throw his headphones? Or is this gonna be, like, kind of a slow burn, sort of boring one? Okay, 2 rectangles forming a left diagonal indicate a left turn. Indicates a right turn. Wait, what? Salad fingers just waited to build up? Okay. As of 1968, it is federally mandated that all trails must be blazed. Ooh. Do not follow unmarked trails or trails with suspicious markers. Is it getting louder? You will not return. Oh. Well. Acquire equipment. On a hike, you should be prepared for any obstacles you may face. True. Here, 1 second. Ah, where'd that go? Wrong button. Safe hiker's checklist, food, water, hiking boots, weather appropriate clothing, first aid kit, compass, hunting knife, flashlight. All of these are pretty solid so far. I'm turning this so far down. Actually, I should probably turn this guy back up and turn him down on YouTube, not here. Find a map at your park's visitor center. I'm trying to keep it at an appropriate volume because it's so damn loud. Fear of the forest, okay. List did not include pants. That's true. The masked people have lived in the Pine Barrens for hundreds of years. Okay. An unholy entity holds dominion over the woods. Their obligations augment its strength. Their oblations augment its strength. If you hear the whistling, you have stumbled upon a false trail. I guess we'll turn it back up. When you say, oh, this is in fact that analog horror series, what do you mean? And no, we have not solved the mystery. Evacuate is the next step. Okay. What? Hang on, what was that? I didn't see anything. All right. Oh. Is that it? Just a mask dude? Didn't the first slide say not to follow trails? The first slide said not to follow unmarked trails. Did I finally beat Wendigoon to an analog horror series? Hell yeah, brother. Yeah, I mean, honestly, once he does it, the subscriber count's finally probably gonna pop way up. Alright. What's next? Christmas Eve candlelight service. Let's go. Oh, he has? Okay. Grandwood Church of the Pines. Oh, I actually did beat him to those two? Nice. Don't do this to me right now, Insomnia Chad. Don't you bring Tartaria into this. Don't you bring Tartaria into this. I can't do it. Baraska. I recall that, but I can't remember what it was. I don't like that statue. Okay. I'm trying to see if there's any... Oh, there is. There is something. Do you guys see it? Do you guys see where the anagram is? The children yearn for the pines. Do you guys see the anagram in here? I know what Borat. I remember Baraska. I think I've listened to a narration, but I forget who I listened to narrate it. I did like the Mother Mary one. Or I do like the Mother Mary. That's what I meant to say. I thought you were talking about the Hi, It's Me Mary for a second. Yeah, I don't like the last statue though, no. So it says, innocent, send help. Yep.
Christmas. Christmas is a time for people to come together.
Bible time.
Friends, families, enemies, war.
Oh yeah, I should probably take a look back at that now that you mentioned that. Is there anything else that's in there? Yeah, so I think that's the only one of them though. I don't see anything else in here. I mean, a lot of these are several of these are biblical names, but
Christmas is a time for people to come together. Friends, families,
it does have a puppet
enemies,
show.
Warring nations.
See it,
To celebrate the great gift God has given us this day. His Son, Jesus Christ. John 3:16.
We're only gonna barely get through the end of this one if I don't stop.
The world that he gave his only begotten Son, that whosoever believeth in him should not perish, but have eternal life. Our Lord has given us creation and the opportunity to do with it as we wish.
I wonder where this is going.
We have the choice to sin or to be faithful.
Hell yeah, brother.
Our Lord has given us his Son to undo Eve and Adam's original sin. Jesus showed us that even with free will, we can live a life free of sin. Enoch 21:4.
Oh, whoa, whoa, whoa. What are we doing now? Why are we quoting Enoch? Enoch's not in the Bible.
There too, I beheld 7 stars of heaven bound in it together, like great mountains and like a blazing fire. I exclaimed, for what species of crime have they been bound? And why have they been removed to this place?
So in Enoch, due to the fact that it is the English version of Enoch is a translation of Ethiopic, that itself is a translation of Greek, that itself is a translation of Hebrew. Some of the wording is a little bit weird, and we don't have what the original text was, but it's very likely that stars originally is angelos, so angels. This is probably, there too I beheld 7 angels of heaven bound in it together, like great mountains and like a blazing fire. I exclaimed, for what species of crime have they been bound, and why have they been removed to this place? If you've read the Book of Enoch, or you've watched our videos that have to do with the Book of Enoch, this is probably talking about the Watchers. I haven't read 21-4 in a while.
Then Uriel, one of the holy angels who was with me and who conducted me, answered, Enoch, wherefore dost thou ask? Wherefore reason with thyself and anxiously inquire? These are those of the stars which have transgressed the commandment of the Most High God, and are here bound until the infinite number of the days of their crimes be completed.
Yep. So basically, those who rebelled against God's will, rebel against God's will, in the Book of Enoch are cast into eternal suffering.
The basement door is over there. I hate you so much. Be quiet.
The Dead Sea Scrolls have some fragments of Enoch, but no, not enough to reconstruct. It is canon in the Ethiopian Orthodox Church.
Holy shit! Be quiet. This will only take a second.
That's not good. Kablooey. Kablooey, I say.
Shit! Fuck! Jesus Christ!
Sounds like it didn't work, whatever they were trying to do.
Fuck! 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 Holy shit!
Uh-oh. Well, I mean, it sounds like maybe they shouldn't have done that. That's just my point of view, personally. What does Bluey have to do with any of this? And after, okay, so that's the end of this one. Health warning. The following informational video is not produced by White Sag Education. We have distributed this video for educational purposes only. The use of Intuitane, domestic pill, and other similar products is highly discouraged. Thank you for your cooperation. What is Intuitane? For the past 7 years, Genesis Technologies has been developed. Genesis? Hang on. Does this tie in with Genesis Home Entertainment? So the voices in the recording of the last video were Luke's and Craig's. Who are Luke and Craig? Oh, Genesis and... yeah, I messed that up. That was my bad. I knew Genesis Home Entertainment didn't sound quite right, but I am very tired. Yeah, you're right. My bad. Test 1, Mouse and Pitfall Maze. 2 groups of 25 laboratory mice were placed in a pitfall maze with a piece of cheese on the opposite end. The mice in group 2 were each given 50 milligram dose of Intuitane, while group 1 acts as the control group. More of a Bible thing in universe? Got it. Dan, not Craig. In the first group, 0 of the 25 mice successfully reached the cheese at the other end of the maze. We observed that the control mice preferred to take a direct route to the cheese and not make unnecessary turns, falling victim to the pitfalls. Group 2. 19 of the 25 mice successfully reached the cheese at the other end, making for a 76% success rate. Damn. That is a hell of an improvement. Mice in the 2-attain group made turns to avoid the pitfalls, even though the route was indirect. Well, I mean, that is how that usually tends to work. Conclusion. Did I miss anything? Okay. Conclusion. Mice in Group 1 followed their natural instinct to take the most direct route possible, leading them into the pitfalls. The 50 milligram dose of Intuitain allowed the mice in Group 2 to go against their natural instinct and reach the end of the pitfall maze. 50 milligram dose in a mouse would mean that you would need an absolutely extraordinary dose in a human. Mice in Group 1 followed the natural... Okay, is there a reason why this is on screen for such a long time? If we're not careful, we're going to run out of time to finish the videos. Two groups of 25 human test subjects were sat in front of a stoplight. Group 1 acted as a control group, while the test subjects in Group 2 were each given a 200 milligram dose of Intuitain. That would not line up. I mean, your average... How much does a mouse weigh? How much do lab mice weigh? Okay, so a 50 milligram dose for about a 1 ounce mouse. Um, 50 milligram dose for a 1 ounce mouse. So I am a 180 pound man. 80 pounds to ounces. So you would need, in that case, 50 milligrams times 2880. Yeah, oops. So you would need 144 grams to match that dose in a human. You'd need 1/3 of a pound. Like, bro, these mice are zooted. Okay, two groups sat in front of a stoplight. Group 1 acted as the control group, while the test subjects in Group 2 were each given 200 milligram dose. Test subjects were asked to verbally guess which color the stoplight would glow at random, and the accuracy of their guesses was recorded. I'm not really sure how that would work. Group 1 made 79 correct guesses, making for an approximated 31.6 correct rate. This is close to the 33% expected. I don't understand how this could be testing anything, though, because it would be pure guesswork, wouldn't it? Wow. How? That would make it... That would imply that it makes it so you can see the future, since this is just a... I mean, it didn't say there was a pattern. If they meant micrograms, that would make a hell of a lot more sense. Group 1 relied solely on chance, while the group heightened by Intuitain, allowing them to predict correctly over time. Still not understanding how that works. Yeah, you need to eat an entire cereal bowl full of it. That's ridiculous. Potential side effects. Domestic pill, have report. Why is it called the Intuitain domestic pill? That doesn't make any sense. Unless domestic pill is a term I don't know. What does domestic pill mean? Yeah, I don't know why it's saying domestic pill, but all right. More vivid and lifelike dreams while asleep. These dreams can cause paranoid tendencies and insomnia. Nice. Believes that the following two dreams are caused by Intuitain stimulation of the subconscious mind and may possibly depict future events. Alright. Margaret dreams about a never-before televised puppet show featuring 4 colorful puppets and a park ranger. She said the puppet she illustrated was named Rex. Margaret stated that while in the dream, she felt like she had seen the program 100 times before, despite it never existing. Alright. Henry Ledger's dream, that appears to be a meteor. He witnessed a meteor falling towards Earth. He watched the meteor crash near his home in Barnegat Township, NJ. Domestic pill? Based and domestic pilled. Henry's dreams helped Genesis Technology discover a new comet now named Ledger's Comet. Ooh. I went to a chiropractor yesterday and I am crackly all over the place. Ooh. It feels so nice. Oh! Well, I don't like Daniel Carpenter's dream at all. Daniel Carpenter's dream makes me deeply uncomfortable. It does seem like they're giving it to kids, which is disconcerting. To say the least. Recalled an immense amount of heat emanating from the large hole they surrounded. Alright. Daniel transcribed this melody, which he heard in his dream. What would that even be? Like, do 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 do. It would be like do 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 do. No, it'd be like do 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 do. Something like that. 3 days after his dream, Daniel had a violent encounter with 3 of the masked humanoids from his dream. However, he did not come across the large hole in the ground. Interesting. Ow. Oh, the sheet music is just the whistling from the first episode? Okay. Gotcha. I did hear the whistling. I'm just trying to, like, I was trying to... Alright. I can't read music, but I can understand when the notes are supposed to go up and down. Guitarists never learn to read music. It's very silly. Forest friends. Well, let's take a look. Is there any there was a relevance to the names in the one video, so is there a relevance to this? If there was, it would be OSRIS. OSRIS. Almost Osiris, but not quite. FRE. Oh, wait, that would be OSTRIS. Ostris? Nah, probably not. This would be Freffen. Oh, wait, there's a lowercase d, too. So it'd be OST, or yeah, so it's definitely not that. I don't, the cross looks a little too much like a Christian cross, so I feel like this is going to be a religious thing, probably, right? All right. Wait. Wait, it took you like an hour to solve?
Oh, hi! I didn't see you there. I'm Rex.
Uh-oh.
What's your name?
Wait. Ostrus is Latin? Yeah, but there's a D, too. It would be Ostritus. I mean, it would be... I mean, Ostrus... the blood of the sea snail, or the color purple, but this looked like it was Ostritis. Ah, no. Closest you get is ostrich.
What's your name?
I missed the D. It's my fault.
Nice to meet you. I can't wait to tell all the other forest friends about you. My new friend. Say,
This is,
would you like to come camping
unsettling.
with us? You would? Great! There's gonna be lots of fun activities, like hiking and fishing, and you'll even get to meet Ranger Luke. Oh no! That reminds me, I have to get packed. I'll be right back.
I don't like this.
All right, I don't need this. This could be useful, but no. This
I don't
doesn't
like
seem
this.
good to go camping with. I don't really like this thing. Oh, bananas are weird.
Okay.
Rex, it's me, Anna.
I'm not liking the puppet. I'm not a puppet guy.
Where's Rex? Wait, who are you? I've never met you before.
I'm Aiden.
All right, I'm ready to go camping. Oh, hey, Anna.
Why does she look scared?
Meet my new friend.
New friend? Rex, how do you know they're not a stranger?
Well, I don't know. Maybe they are a stranger. But how can we know for sure?
Yeah, I'm not a fan of any
Let's
of
go
this.
ask Ranger Luke.
This is all
he
creepy.
knows everything about stranger danger.
You're right. Come on, let's go camping.
They do look like they're screaming. Yeah, that's New Jersey, all right. How have I been? I'm vibing. Things are going. Dealing with student loans starting back up and having far too much of them.
Hey guys,
Hi, Ranger Luke.
you guys are just in time to set up camp.
Anna and I have a very important question.
Alrighty, Rex, what is it?
I met someone new today, and they seem really nice and great, but I don't know if they're a stranger or not.
Well, they certainly don't look like a stranger to me.
Ah, well, that's nice of him.
I'm Ranger Luke. It's a pleasure to meet you.
Yay, what a relief.
Yeah, I'm so glad that I found an honest and true friend like you, and not a stranger.
Say, do you guys remember the ways to spot a stranger?
Well,
Not really.
That's alright. We'll learn together with our new friend.
yay!
Yay!
This feels very odd to me. I'm not sure how I feel here.
Remember that story from way back when? If you can't recall, let me tell it again. This is the story of Little Red. Went to visit Granny who was sick in her bed. She stayed focused while walking the trail.
Is this just Red Riding Hood?
Replays every single detail.
That was a pit.
When they lurk around.
You're also really not supposed to... That's not... I mean, he's obviously not playing the banjo, but I don't often hear strummed banjo.
Tell the park ranger, stranger danger, don't trust the
Oh no, he actually is playing it.
big bad wolf. Into the woods and through the trees.
He is actually playing that banjo. Now I'm just impressed.
Nothing else to see. The sun was going down and she was almost there.
Wait, in the captions they... Okay.
Heard the birds sing, but there were none in the air. She stayed quiet, not making a sound. She was on the wrong path, and so she turned around. Stranger danger when they are around. Tell a park ranger. Stranger danger. Don't trust the big bad.
This is weird.
Little Red arrived with her basket of bread. There was no sweet granny lying sick in her bed. It was too late, Granny locked the door. Red saw her face, it wasn't her.
Uh-oh. Oh no. He's the stranger.
Big bad wolf. Don't trust the big bad wolf.
Let it play.
The big bad wolf.
Oh, speaking of letting it play, PJ and I are doing a recording session tomorrow. Would you guys want us to stream? Because we might be able to figure out a way to do it. Like, we might be able to figure out a way to stream us recording one of the new songs. I'd have to let him know probably ahead of time. Like, I'd have to tell him now, you know, hey, tomorrow can we stream? But he did ask me if I wanted to stream it at some point. So if you guys want to hear us working on the album, we probably can. Wait, what got Wendigoon? Wait, the big bad wolf thing got Isaiah? Speaking of which, he and I are trying to plan this thing for Weird Bible. I texted him and said, "Sir, please." I think the strangers are the guys with the masks, from what I can tell. We love Ranger Luke, but not as much as we love not Ranger Craig, just Craig Craig? Okay. What do you mean this is worthy of MST3K treatment? I'm not sure I recognize that.
This hike is so much fun, Gleason.
What a name,
I agree,
Gleason.
Oswald, but I'm exhausted from all this walking.
I don't know why you would be exhausted from the walking that goes on in the Pine Barrens. It's like entirely flat. It's New Jersey. The only difference between New Jersey and Ohio is that New Jersey is like trees and forests flat, and Ohio is cornfields flat.
Hey, do you know where we are?
The oldest tree in the forest should be coming up soon.
Well, how do you know that, Oswald?
Ranger Craig? Okay.
I feel like we've been walking.
Oh, Mystery Science Theater 3000.
Forever.
Well, Gleason, we've been following the trailblazers, so we'll be okay.
Oh no, oh no. We forgot to use a map. Are we on a false trail?
Oh no. The puppets are dead people, you think?
It's okay. Do you hear the melody? That means the strangers aren't hunting. Well, as long as we stand still and be quiet.
Okay, we're learning a lot about the strangers now. It's very cute. Oh! Well, that's not ideal.
Hello, and welcome to Mr. Gungus's Game of the Day.
Mr. Gungus's Game of the Day.
We are going to be playing Spot the Stranger. Come on, let's go.
Bruh. Spot the Stranger. Oh, this is just getting creepy. I think I see the stranger. He's right there. He's on the screen. I mean, he's been there for a while now. It wasn't that hard, actually. He was pretty obvious. Yeah, I mean, he's right there. Yeah, I see him. He's just vibing. Hanging out under a log. Doing what strangers do. Can you spot the adversary? No. Oh. I'm guessing it's that. It looks like it's a snake. Yeah, this is all feeling very much like it's biblical, like these are Satanists. And I mean, listen, if I were going to try and find the domain of Satan, New Jersey would be the first place I'd look.
Thank you for playing Mr. Gungus's game of the day. See you next time.
Accurate representation of most women from New Jersey. I'm sorry, that one was mean. That one was mean.
The sun's set, the day is old,
but we can't
rest until
our stories are told.
Now's the time of the night where we gather around the campfire and talk about everything we did today. So, Rex and Anna, what did you guys do today?
Oh! Today, we went fishing.
Yeah, if it's being called the adversary, that's definitely Satan.
It was a lot of fun. I caught a whole lot of fish.
I'm glad that we seem to have gotten something rolling regarding LeVay being a weenie. Also, hey, camera. Hey, back to me. Come on.
Today, I think I caught the most.
You may have caught the most, but I caught the biggest fish.
Ooh.
Yeah, right.
Well, what kinds of fish did you find?
We caught some
It's a great question. They're clean, though.
sunfish, creek chub suckers, and even largemouth bass.
We would have caught more, but we ran out of worms.
Well, that sounds like a whole lot of fun, even if you did run out of worms.
Yeah, we'll definitely remember to pack more for next time.
Gleason and Oswald, what did you guys do today?
We went hiking.
Love you too.
Yeah.
Well, that didn't sound too enthusiastic. Did you guys have fun?
No.
Well,
No, they did not
We were
have fun.
trying to find the oldest tree in the forest, but we got lost.
and before we even knew it, it was too late. We heard the strangers whistling.
What did it sound like?
It was a song.
And what did you do?
We stopped, stayed quiet, and when we couldn't hear the song anymore, we turned around.
I think that's what you're supposed to do.
Great job,
probably.
Gleason and Oswald. Now, what would you have done if it wasn't a song they were whistling?
We would have closed our eyes and ran away.
Great job!
So you're not supposed to look at it. Interesting.
Always remember, strangers have no regard for your well-being. They aren't like us. Do not follow them into the woods, no matter how friendly they look. See you on another episode of
Forest Friends!
All right.
All living things.
In memory of the Grandwood 4? What's that mean? Oh my god. Oh no! They were dead kids! No! No! Oh no! Oh no! This seems to have less crime, and be nicer than the times you've been in New Jersey. Yep. Oh no. That's so upsetting. That's upsetty. All right. Now it's Craig time?
Congratulations.
But to be honest, guys, I'm excited for Craig time.
on being accepted into the Grandwood Park Ranger program. You're on your way to fulfilling one of the most important niches in the New Jersey Pine Barrens ecosystem. However, there are still a few more basics you'll need to learn before you head out onto the field. Meet Ranger Craig. He's a new ranger here just like you.
I personally think that being like, if I didn't have everything going on that I have going on right now, I wouldn't totally hate being a park ranger. Like, that would be a solid backup career. Especially one of the bigger ones, like being a game warden. Like, that would be fun.
He's eager to protect and preserve. But wait, Craig. I have to tell you some things before you begin.
Craig is a unit of a guy. You may now choose to resign and leave the Grandwood Ranger program, or continue with your training. If you choose to resign, notify your training supervisor immediately. You cannot resign later. The contents of this tape are highly confidential. This is your final warning. You can't resign later, yikes. And sub a la angel. Sub a la angeli. What would that mean? Sub a la angeli. Under an angel's wing. Environmentally sensitive and unsafe areas. Nice.
Just like any normal park ranger, you'll be given an assigned area.
I like the
to monitor.
implication that these are not normal park rangers.
Your duty, above all else, is to protect park guests from any and all threats. While on patrol, you will notice trails without correct blazing or proper documentation on your map. These false trails lead to Inner Grandwood.
Okay.
If you find a false trail not yet marked with a red triangle on your master map, take note of its approximate location and report it later. Visitors are prohibited from walking all false trails. If you see a visitor veering onto a false trail, kindly ask them to return to...
Did you say there's a high-pitched whine whenever I talk without the video? I think that might have been the microwave beeping.
the marked trails. If they refuse to acknowledge the question, do not hesitate.
That leg out, damn. That, I don't know. Personally, I'm a little aroused right now by this thing.
To aggress.
I mean, the way it's opening its mouth and like standing there with its leg out, I feel like it wants me.
Master map. Scrub the blaze off with a sponge and mineral spirits. Then, dry it with a clean cloth.
I like the idea that you can just clean paint off of tree bark as if it doesn't seep into the wood.
This is a false trail. Make sure it is marked accordingly.
Okay. See, tempting sights and sounds. I already saw the tempting sight. It was the masked person
Guests
going,
come to Grandwood National
with its
Park
leg out.
to experience the best trails the Pine Barrens have to offer. There are many species of birds native to the park, making it a hot spot for bird watchers and ornithologists across the globe. Unfortunately, visitors oftentimes fall victim to clever imitation. Strangers are bipedal organisms that live in the park.
Oh, okay.
They produce a whistling tone that sounds similar to birdsong.
This is different. We've gone very aggressively into the furry realm here.
There are two known whistling patterns strangers demonstrate. A distinct melodic pattern signifies a feeding gambit is underway.
Okay.
A feeding gambit poses no immediate threat to trail-abiding visitors, but may lead them into unsafe territory.
So don't follow it when it's
If you
whistling.
see park guests entranced by the stranger's song, kindly remind them to stay on the marked trails. Investigation of the feeding gambit is unnecessary and not worth the risk.
All right. I mean, I vibe with Ranger Craig on that account. I too do not like furries.
Sometimes, your designated area will fall victim to a hunting gambit.
Okay.
A hunting gambit on a marked trail is an uncommon act of desperation, but is still important to prepare for. You'll know a hunting gambit is in progress by the stranger's erratic whistling pattern. This whistling is how they communicate.
Okay.
Refer to your handbook for more information regarding how to further decipher stranger whistling patterns. During a hunting gambit, urge all nearby park visitors to close their eyes and run in the direction of your voice toward the start of the trail.
Yes, Ranger Craig.
Report the active hunting gambit to Grandwood National Park headquarters via your handheld radio. A siren will sound to alert all other park rangers to evacuate their designated areas. If you hear the siren, lead all visitors back to the park entrance, where a head count will take place. Once the head count has concluded, all park rangers will be dispatched to search for any unaccounted for visitors and to subdue the active hunting gambit.
Who wooed? Yeah, imagine you're just out in the forest alone, and just from the off in the trees, you just hear a. You'd be
After
terrified.
dispersing, you will return to your designated area to subdue the hunting gambit and search for any unaccounted for visitors.
Oh my God, Ranger Craig with the gat.
It is unlikely you will recover any bodies. Strangers will not retreat unless enough sustenance is gathered,
Okay.
or
creepy.
a majority of the advancing strangers are subdued.
Oh, ooh, creepy. Don't like that. Do not like the creepy dude off in the woods. You're typically supposed to be the other way around, where the flashlight's supporting the gun arm, but oh?
Strangers hunt in packs, so attempting to flee is...
Well, you see, Kellen, it's not about the or the ara or the oni-chan. I actually don't remember how the video ends. I can't remember how that meme goes. I just remember the three sounds.
futile.
Oh, they do be hanging.
When you encounter a stranger, do not hesitate to aggress.
Oh, that's definitely just an airsoft gun. Fire, dude. Pull that trigger. Go pow pow.
Do not cease fire, no matter how human their cries sound.
Okay.
They have surrendered their body to the forest.
Oh.
You are doing them a service by freeing their soul.
Oh, so they are human. That's dark. That got dark. He did what he had to do, you know?
Should feel no guilt.
You should feel no guilt?
Congratulations! This concludes the Grandwood Park Ranger training video. You will now be led to the physical training course, where you will be put to the test.
Okay.
Being a ranger here at Grandwood is a job unlike any other, and we're thrilled to have you on our side. I'm Ranger Dan.
And I'm Ranger Luke.
Stay safe out there!
All right. That was weird. Is there going to be more to this? Is this incomplete, or was that the whole series? Oh, wow. So Ranger Luke is the guy who made the series. Okay. Was that illustrations by Star Dodge, Precious and Brittany D'Aloisio. Okay, well, that brings us to the end of that, and also to about 10 minutes over the end of stream. So, you know, this was good. This was a good one. We broke it up into basically exactly 2 hours, or an hour for each side, so nice. I will see about streaming tomorrow night while I'm at PJ's, while we do the recording. If we can do it, we will. If we can't, then unfortunate. But I will be back on Thursday, and this Friday is my birthday, so I will not be streaming. Woo, birthday! Yes. But yeah, this Friday is my birthday. I'm turning 26. I'm not going to be streaming, but yes, we do have a whole evening of events. I'm trying to remember where I was going. Yeah, right. So next week, and from this point on, I'm going to try and standardize the stream schedule a little bit to be 7 to 9 p.m. on Tuesdays, and then 7 to 10 on Thursdays and Fridays. And I will be hopefully doing Fridays as multiplayer games, you know, like Chivalry, Call of Duty, those kinds of things. And then Thursday, I want to see about maybe doing some more story-related, yet still fast-paced games. For example, I'm looking at doing Far Cry 5. If you guys would actually watch through the entire Far Cry series, then I would start with the original. But for the time being, I'm planning on just doing 5 because it just seems like it's a fun one. And then from there, we'll kind of see how things go. You know, if we need to make scheduling changes, maybe. But yeah, this was you know, I'm happy with the number of people that were here tonight. So next week will be another analog horror or spooky analysis kind of stream for Tuesday. Thursday will be a single player game, and Friday will be a multiplayer game, as I currently have it planned. So
following the Thanksgiving week, you're not streaming Friday.
Yes, and the week of Thanksgiving, I'm also not streaming Friday, but I will be streaming the normal 3 days next week, and then we have. I said next week. And so next week should be normal, and then on the 19th we have Ashton Forbes, who is the MH370 guy, coming on. So, you know, for those of you who had questions, those of you who did kind of lean towards it's fake, be there. It's going to be 7 p.m. on Sunday the 19th. Be there, because that will be the time for you guys to send in questions that we can ask him in real time. I will include Far Cry Primal, yes. Far Cry 1 isn't more than a game demo. Really? Well, you know. Anyway, but all right. I will talk to you guys again either tomorrow or Thursday. See you guys.